The beginning. In a city where the world was divided by instincts, where alphas ruled, betas adapted, and omegas were expected to obey, Adrian refused to bow down. Unlike other omegas, Adrian had fire in his eyes, a storm in his heart. He hated the chains society tried to put on him. He wasn't fragile, he wasn't weak, he was Adrian, and he would never let an alpha decide his fate. But fate had other plans, because when the most dangerous alpha of the city, Luca, laid his eyes on him, Adrian's world began to burn. Adrian pushed the heavy wooden doors of the library open. The smell of old books greeted him, and he sighed in relief. This was the only place where he could breathe without anyone staring at his neck, searching for a bond mark that didn't exist. He ran his fingers across the shelves, whispering softly to himself. Books don't care if you're an omega. They don't tell you what to do. But as his hand lingered on a novel, he felt it. That prickling heat down his spine, that undeniable awareness, an alpha's presence. Adrian's chest tightened. He didn't want to look, but his body betrayed him. Slowly, his eyes lifted, and there he was, Luca. Tall, sharp suit, a presence that filled the entire room with silent authority. His piercing gray eyes locked on Adrian like a predator studying prey. His jaw was sharp, his expression unreadable, but the faintest smirk played at the corner of his lips. Adrian's throat went dry, his heart thudded. Why him? Why now? He turned back to the shelf, pretending to read. Luca's voice, low and commanding. You're not from here, are you? Adrian froze. That voice, it wasn't just a voice, it was velvet wrapped in danger. Smooth but edged with steel. Adrian, without looking, is it a crime to read in your city? Luca chuckled softly, the sound deep, almost sinful. No, but it is unusual to see an omega alone, no guard, no alpha shadowing him, brave or stupid. Adrian's fists clenched. He turned sharply, glaring at him. I don't need an alpha shadow, and I'm neither brave nor stupid. I'm just free. For a moment, silence. Then Luca stepped closer, too close. Adrian could feel the heat radiating off him, smell the faint scent of smoke and leather. Their eyes met. Adrian's heart skipped a beat. Luca tilted his head, voice dropping lower. Freedom is an illusion, Omega, especially when alphas like me exist. Adrian's breath caught. He hated the way his chest fluttered, hated how his body reacted, betraying him, but he didn't back away. Instead, he whispered, firm, then maybe you haven't met an omega like me. For the first time, Luca's smirk faltered. His gaze darkened. Interesting. This one was different. As Adrian left the library, Kai jogged up to him, panting. Kai teasing. Adrian, I've been looking everywhere. You know how dangerous it is for you to wander. I don't need protection, Kai. Stop acting like I'm glass. Kai's smile faltered. He shoved his hands in his pockets, hiding the sting of rejection. If only you knew, Adrian. If only you knew I'd give everything to protect you. But before Kai could respond, the sound of engines roared nearby. A line of sleek black cars pulled up at the curb. Men in black stepped out, surrounding the area. Adrian's stomach dropped. He recognized that presence immediately. Luca, the alpha, stepped out of the car, his coat flowing behind him like shadows, his eyes straight on Adrian. Luca, calm, dangerous. Get in the car. Adrian, furious. What makes you think I'll listen to you? Luca's lips curved into a slow smile. Because when I command, omegas obey. Adrian's pulse raced. His body trembled. Not in fear, but in something he refused to name. Kai immediately stepped forward, shielding Adrian. He said no. Back off. Luca's gaze flicked to Kai, unamused. A beta? Standing in my way? Brave, but useless. Then his eyes softened, only for a fraction of a second, as they returned to Adrian. I don't like repeating myself. Adrian's breath shook. Every instinct screamed to resist, to fight. And yet, his heart thundered so loud it drowned out everything else. He hated this alpha. He hated the way Luca's presence stole his air. But deep down, a dangerous truth clawed at him. Part of him didn't want to run. And that was the beginning. The moment an unbreakable alpha met an untamable omega. A clash of fire and storm. A story that would burn through betrayal, passion, and love. Because once Luca set his eyes on Adrian, there was no escape. Adrian thought he could escape Luca's presence. But an alpha like him never lets go once he's interested. Adrian slammed the door shut, leaning against it, his chest rising and falling rapidly. His pulse hadn't calmed since the encounter. That alpha, Luca, why does his presence shake me like this? He pressed his palm to his chest, feeling the thudding heartbeat. It wasn't fear. That was the problem. It wasn't fear at all. Suddenly, knock, knock. Adrian's eyes widened. His body froze. No one visited him this late. Slowly, he opened the door, and there he was, Luca. Standing tall, dangerous, every inch of him radiating power. Adrian sharp. How the hell do you know where I live? Smirking. I know everything, Adrian. Adrian's breath caught. The sound of his name in Luca's voice. It was like silk wrapping around his heart. Adrian firm, trying to hide nerves. Leave, now. Luca stepping closer. If I wanted to harm you, I would have. I'm here because... He pauses, eyes darkening, lowering his voice. You make it impossible to stay away. Adrian's heart skipped. His body leaned back against the door unconsciously. His instincts screamed to push him away, but his soul was betraying him. The next day, Adrian walked with Kai through the busy streets. Kai kept cracking jokes, trying to lift Adrian's mood, but Adrian wasn't listening. His mind kept replaying Luca's words. Impossible to stay away. Suddenly, screech! A car sped recklessly toward Adrian. Adrian! Kai shouted, trying to pull him back. But before Kai's hand even touched him, a strong arm yanked Adrian out of the way. His body crashed into a firm chest, his breath stolen by the sudden impact. When he looked up, gray eyes stared back. Luca angry, gripping his arms. Are you insane? Do you want to die? Adrian's lips parted, but no words came out. His heart was racing, but not because of the car. Because of him. He realized then Luca was holding him too tightly. He could feel the alpha's heartbeat pounding against his own chest. The world blurred around them. For a split second, it was just the two of them. Adrian's cheeks flushed. His body reacted to Luca's scent, warm and intoxicating. He shoved him away suddenly, breathless. I didn't ask for your help. Luca low, intense, stepping closer. You don't have to ask, I'll protect you, whether you like it or not. Kai clenched his fists silently, watching them. His jaw tightened, jealousy burning in his chest. That night, Adrian tossed in bed, restless. His skin burned, his heart raced. No, it couldn't be. His first heat cycle of the year. He cursed under his breath, trying to suppress the waves of heat crawling under his skin. He grabbed his phone, typing a quick message to Kai. Don't come over. Please, I'll handle it. But before he could think further, a knock at the window. Adrian turned and froze. Luca stood there outside on the balcony, his eyes locked on Adrian's trembling form. Adrian's scent filled the room, sweet, intoxicating, impossible to ignore. Luca's eyes darkened, his alpha instincts surging. Adrian weak, whispering, "Get out. You can't be here right now." Luca, voice rough, strained. Do you think I can leave you like this? He stepped inside, closing the distance. Adrian stumbled back, his breath uneven. The room thickened with tension, their eyes locking like magnets. Adrian's lips trembled. Why? Why are you doing this? Luca leaned in, his forehead almost touching Adrian's. His voice dropped, raw, almost vulnerable. Because from the moment I saw you, I knew you were mine. Adrian's heart thundered. His body trembled, torn between anger and desire, fear and longing. For a second, he thought he might give in, but he shoved Luca back, shouting hoarsely, I am not yours. Silence. Luca stared at him, eyes burning with both fury and pain, and then a slow, dangerous smile curved his lips. Then prove it, Adrian. Resist me, but remember. He leaned close, whispering against Adrian's ear, every heartbeat of yours already answers to me. Adrian's knees weakened, his chest a storm. He hated him. He hated the way Luca made him feel alive, vulnerable, desired, and yet deep down, a terrifying truth pulsed through him. He didn't want him to leave. The war had begun, between pride and surrender, hatred and desire, between an Omega who refused to bow and an Alpha who refused to let go, and in the shadows another heart burned silently. Kai's. Love was dangerous, but falling in love with a mafia alpha was deadly. Adrian was leaving his part-time job late at night when he felt it, shadows following him. He sped up, but before he could scream, a cloth covered his mouth. Darkness swallowed him. When he woke, his wrists were tied, the cold floor beneath him. A dim warehouse, rough voices echoed, stranger's voice. So this is the Omega Luca's been circling. Ha! Let's see if he comes running. Adrian's heart pounded. His throat tightened. Luca? This is because of him? Before he could process, the door burst open. Gunshots, shouts, chaos. And then he saw him. Luca, storming in like a god of war, eyes blazing, every movement sharp and lethal. In minutes, the men were on the floor, defeated. Luca's coat brushed against Adrian as he knelt, cutting his ropes. His hand lingered on Adrian's wrist, firm but trembling slightly. Luca low, harsh. Are you hurt? Adrian's lips parted. He wanted to scream at him, like to push him away, to say, this is your fault. But instead, his chest twisted. Adrian, angry, trembling. Why? Why do you keep dragging me into your world? Luca's jaw clenched. He cupped Adrian's face suddenly, his thumb brushing his cheek. His eyes softened for the first time, voice breaking. Because I can't lose you, not you. Adrian's heart skipped. His breath caught. For a moment, time froze. But then, Kai's voice shouting from the door, Adrian. Kai rushed in, pulling Adrian into his arms, glaring at Luca. You selfish alpha? Stay away from him. Luca's eyes narrowed dangerously. His instincts roared at the sight of Adrian in another man's arms. Back at Adrian's apartment, tension boiled. Kai fussed over Adrian, touching his hand, offering water. You don't have to see him again. He's dangerous, Adrian. He'll destroy you. Adrian's eyes flickered. His lips trembled. He saved me. Kai froze, pain flashing across his eyes. Don't you see? That's how alphas trap you. They create danger, then play the hero. Before Adrian could reply, the door slammed open. Lucas stood there, his aura filling the room like fire. His eyes locked on Kai's hand, still holding Adrian's. Luca low, lethal. Move. Away. From him. Kai stood his ground, shoulders squared. You don't own him. Luca stepping closer, voice like thunder. Don't test me, Beta. The tension was unbearable. Adrian's heart raced. He shoved both of them back, shouting, Stop it! Both of you. His chest heaved, tears stinging his eyes. I'm not some trophy you can fight over. I'm just me. Silence. Kai looked away, guilt heavy on his face. Luca's jaw tightened. For the first time, his voice dropped low, vulnerable. You're not a trophy, Adrian. You're the only thing that's ever made my heart beat. Adrian's eyes widened. His chest fluttered violently. His throat tightened. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run. But most of all, he wanted to believe him. A week later, Adrian attended a charity gala with Kai, trying to distract himself. The hall glittered with chandeliers and music. But the moment he stepped inside, he felt it. That scent. That presence. Luca. He stood across the room in a tailored suit, eyes burning only for Adrian. Adrian swallowed hard, trying to ignore him, but Luca didn't allow it. The music shifted. He crossed the floor, ignoring everyone else, and extended his hand to Adrian. Dance with me. Adrian's heart pounded. People were watching. Whispers filled the room. He should refuse. He should walk away. But when Luca's hand brushed his, warmth spreading through his skin, he couldn't. He placed his hand in Luca's. The world vanished. It was just them. As they danced, Luca leaned closer, his lips brushing Adrian's ear. I don't care who's watching. Let them all see you're mine. Adrian's knees weakened, his cheeks flushed, his chest was a storm. Every step, every touch, every glance, it was intoxicating. But then he caught Kai's eyes from across the room. Pain, betrayal, a silent scream. Adrian's heart twisted. He was trapped between two fires. The Omega who wanted freedom, the Alpha who wanted forever, the Beta who couldn't let go. Their hearts collided, tangled in love, jealousy, and fate. But soon, blood would spill. Because in Luca's world, love was the most dangerous game of all. Here's exactly what you wrote, without any changes at all. Love was never simple. Not when three hearts beat against each other. Not when the shadows of the mafia closed in. Adrian sat by the window, staring at the city lights. His heart was restless, torn between the fire in Luca's eyes and the warmth in Kai's touch. Kai entered quietly, holding 2 mugs of coffee. He handed one to Adrian with a small smile. You've barely slept these days. Adrian sighed, voice low. I can't. My mind won't stop. Kai sat beside him, watching the faint shadows under Adrian's eyes. His chest ached. He wanted to pull him close, whisper that everything would be okay. But instead, Kai softly, then let me carry your worries. Just lean on me, Adrian. Adrian's heart squeezed. He smiled faintly, grateful. But even in that moment, Luca's voice haunted him. You're mine. Kai clenched his mug tighter, his eyes darkening. Why can't you see me, Adrian? Why him and not me? Later that night, Luca appeared at Adrian's door, his suit dusted with gunpowder, his knuckles bruised. Adrian shocked, whispering, Luca, what happened? Luca grabbing his shoulders, urgent. Listen to me. The syndicate knows about you. They'll use you against me. You can't stay here anymore. Adrian's chest tightened. Fear flickered in his eyes, but so did defiance. I told you, I don't want to be dragged into your world. Luca's voice cracked, his grip trembling. You already are. From the moment I laid eyes on you, you became my weakness. And in this world, weakness gets destroyed. Adrian's breath hitched. For the first time, he saw not just the ruthless Alpha, but a man terrified of losing him. Later, Kai stood outside, fists clenched. He had overheard everything. His chest burned. Jealousy, fear, helplessness. He pulled out his phone, a trembling decision. If Luca's world is this dangerous, then maybe I should end this before Adrian gets hurt. He dialed a number. A cold voice answered. You're finally ready to talk? Kai's voice shook, but his desperation overpowered his guilt. Yes, I'll give you what you want, but don't hurt Adrian. His heart shattered as he spoke the words. He was betraying his best friend, but in his mind, it was the only way to protect him. The next night, Adrian was walking home when black vans screeched to a stop around him. Masked men jumped out, dragging him inside. He screamed, struggled, but a cloth gag silenced him. His heart pounded in terror. Hours later, he found himself in another warehouse. The leader sneered, circling him. So this is the Omega the great Luca bleeds for. Adrian's chest heaved. He bit down his fear, glaring. Let me go. He'll kill you all. The man laughed cruelly. That's exactly what we want. Let's see how far his love goes when his world is burning. When Luca arrived and saw Adrian bound, rage exploded inside him. His aura filled the room like a storm. Luca furious, voice echoing, touch him, and you die. Gunfire erupted. The mafia war ignited. Luca fought like a beast, every strike powered by desperation. His men fell. Their enemies fell, blood staining the floor. Adrian watched in horror and awe. This wasn't just violence. It was love in its most brutal form. Luca was tearing down an army for him. But then, Adrian's eyes widened. Among the shadows, he saw someone familiar. Kai. His heart dropped. Kai? Kai's face was twisted with guilt and pain, a gun trembling in his hand. Adrian broke in whisper, you? Why? Kai's voice cracked, tears in his eyes. Because I love you. And he'll destroy you, Adrian. Don't you see? I did this to save you. Adrian's chest tore apart. Betrayal cut deeper than any blade. The leader grabbed Adrian, pressing a gun to his temple. Enough games. Luca, drop your weapon or your Omega dies. Luca froze, chest heaving, eyes burning. His gun slipped from his fingers, clattering to the ground. But before the leader could pull the trigger, bang! A shot rang out. The man collapsed. And there was Luca, panting, another gun smoking in his hand. He rushed to Adrian, pulling him into his arms, his voice raw, breaking. I told you. I'd protect you, even if it kills me. Adrian clung to him, tears streaming down his face. His body trembled, not from fear, but from the unbearable weight of love crashing over him. Behind them, Kai fell to his knees, shattered. His heart broke watching them, knowing he had lost. Betrayal, blood, love stronger than death. Adrian's world had burned to ashes, but in those ashes, he finally saw the truth. He didn't belong to the shadows. He belonged to Luca. The war was over, but the scars it left behind still burned in every heartbeat. The warehouse reeked of blood and gunpowder. Luca held Adrian tightly, refusing to let go. His hands were shaking, his chest rising and falling with ragged breaths. Adrian whispered, voice trembling, Luca, you could have died. Luca buried his face in Adrian's hair, his voice raw. I'd die 1,000 times if it meant you'd live. Don't you understand? You're not my weakness, Adrian. You're my strength. Adrian's heart twisted. For so long he had feared being caged, being owned, but in Luca's arms he didn't feel trapped. He felt safe, wanted, loved. Across the room, Kai knelt among the bodies, his gun clattering from his hand. Tears streamed down his face. Adrian, I never meant for this. I just wanted to save you. Adrian turned to him, his eyes glistening with grief and betrayal. You broke me, Kai. You were supposed to protect me, not hand me over. Kai sobbed, clutching his chest. I know, and I'll never forgive myself. Even if you can't, I'll spend my life carrying this sin. Luca's glare cut through him like fire. But Adrian's voice, though broken, stopped Luca from striking. Let him go. He already lost everything. Kai's heart cracked further. He looked one last time at Adrian, the man he loved but could never have, before walking into the shadows, swallowed by his own guilt. Days later, Adrian sat by the window of Luca's penthouse, bandaged but alive. The city stretched out before him, glowing under the night sky. Luca entered quietly, setting down a tray of food. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, but his gaze softened the moment it landed on Adrian. Adrian whispered without turning, Why do you keep trying so hard when I've done nothing but push you away? Luca stepped closer, his voice low but steady. Because love isn't easy. It's not meant to be, and if I have to fight the world, fight fate, even fight you, I'll do it. You're worth every wound, Adrian. Adrian's breath hitched, his eyes blurred with tears. Slowly he stood, facing Luca. I was afraid that being with you would destroy me. But tonight, when I thought I'd lose you, I realized something. Luca's heartbeat thundered. What? Adrian's lips trembled into a soft, tearful smile. That you're not my cage, you're my freedom. And with that, Adrian reached up and kissed him, desperate, trembling, pouring every ounce of his heart into it. Luca froze for a moment, then pulled him closer, kissing him back with the ferocity of a man who had waited his whole life for this. Later, they stood on Luca's rooftop, the city lights flickering below. The wind carried the scent of rain. The world hushed around them. Adrian leaned against Luca's chest, his fingers tangled with his. Promise me, no more secrets, no more walls. Luca kissed his hair softly, whispering like a vow, I promise, you are my mate, my love, my eternity, from this night until the last star fades. Adrian closed his eyes, tears slipping down his cheeks, but this time they were tears of peace. Forever, then. Forever, Luca breathed, sealing the words with another kiss under the endless sky. In a world of shadows and blood, they had found something brighter, something worth every scar. Love, unbroken, eternal.